First of all, the FBI has been batting around 99%. You saw Fort Hood, okay? Little Rock, Arkansas. Had the other attacks succeeded, I mean, the FBI is a victim of its success. It succeeds in preventing attack, and people don't realize the magnitude of what could happen. 9/11, they didn't succeed, and so people saw what happened, right? But if any of those other attacks had succeeded, whether in Seattle, whether in D.C., whether in Chicago, whether in Dallas, whether in Denver, right, absolutely, New York City, Washington, there could have been tens of thousands of casualties, okay? So, you know, we've been very lucky. No, we're not going to continue to bat 1,000 or 99%, but these plots continue. Number two, remember that the aim of these groups is not to carry out violence. They don't want violence to a certain extent. They want to initiate they want to achieve their goals through infiltration. So they will get people who are graduates of CARE, which was designated a Hamas front by the FBI, instituted as reporters at the New York Times. Now, I find that amazing only because the New York Times would never hire somebody from the Ku Klux Klan or the Jewish Defense League. Why would they hire somebody from CARE, which the FBI itself won't even talk to because of its ties to Hamas? Even on the issue of who carried out 9/11, you know, up to 40% of American Muslims don't believe it was bin Laden. They didn't follow up on the question who they thought it would be, and you know who that answer would be. Just an anecdote which would explain what I was meaning. Right after 9/11, I was giving a speech at the University of Toledo Law School. And as I got closer to the law school in the limo, I saw squad cars outside with their lights blaring, and I asked the limo driver, why are they here? And he said, they're here to protect you. So I realized that I was going to have an interesting time. I got into the law school auditorium, and it was full to the rafters. It made me maybe 500 seats, but there were 1,000 people there. And there were a lot of Middle Eastern students there, and they started heckling me. And if you're a public speaker and you get heckled, it's very difficult to speak above the din of heckling. And I realized I had to get them quieted somehow, or I would just have to walk off the stage. So I took my speech, and I flagrantly ripped it in half, right in front of them. I looked like a crazy man. And it got them quiet. I mean, it stunned them. And at that point, I said, I want to take a poll. How many of you here believe that Osama bin Laden carried out 9/11? And 500 raised their hands. And then I said, and how many of you here believe that Israel or the CIA carried out 9/11? And the other 500 raised their hands. And there was a woman in the second row who turned out to be a second-year law student, born in the United States. And I said, sister, why do you think bin Laden didn't carry it out? We have the tapes. We have the evidence. She said, they're all fabricated. We know the American government did it. Okay? And I realized in that split second, I was never going to get behind her reality. I mean, that was it. And they firmly believe that. In the same way that many Muslims in the Middle East believe that Jews didn't show up on that day, which is a false lie, right? Because they were warned ahead of time. So there's a belief in the Middle East that the Jews or the government, the U.S. government, were behind 9/11. It's much more prevalent in the Middle East than it is here, but there's still large percentages here.